Hey everyone, today's Friday, May 22nd, 2026, and I'm going to do an end of the year classroom tour. Okay, so I'm going to pan the room a little bit before I talk about each section. As you can see, it might look a little different from my very first video when I did my classroom setup. I did change things around. As you can see, there's a lot of student work up that creates the decoration in my room. And if you compare from the first video, I didn't have much up. I mean, it looked blank because I didn't have a lot of decorations, because I know that I would have all the student work. That makes it look so much better. All right, so here's my smart board and my reading and writing wall. There is the writing process posters, character setting, problem solution, how to retell a story. And these are some poems that we made, I think in April. These came out really cute. I really like the cute spring border. Right here I have our hand signals. I also had the schedule up here, but I took that down. Okay, here's the summer writing that we did. It is a prompt this summer I look forward to. Then over here is our birthday wall. I really love this, it's so cute. What I did was I have this that I'll keep up. I take a picture, and on PowerPoint I type in their birth date. On this side I have the Crayon Box That Talks poster. We did this on the very first day of school, or the first week, I can't remember. But this year I made a bigger crayon box where I think it was 3 by 3. And I really like how it came out. Then I have my scoop chairs, a library that has no rhyme or reason, as you can see. Why do they always do that? What? Okay. Okay, and plushies. Here we have our social studies wall with our Texas symbols. And then this is a science craft that we did. Conserve water. And this is cute. So they flip up and there's ways to conserve water. This is whiteboards and clipboard. Our hydration station. The sign fell off. Here is our respect agreement. Here is the chart, pocket chart that they put all their folders in. I've already passed them out. A signs that tells them, because they line up right here by this paw print. And I put this sign here to show them or remind them to be silent, still, straight, and smiling. This is supposed to be a paw print, but it fell off. It's May, you know how that is. And this shows where they go for out class. And I have a student each day move it down, and they know to come here to look and see where they go instead of asking me. All right, and then here, of course, we have our beautiful board, learning intentions, success criteria. Don't ask me why we need to do that. All right, guys, as you can see, it's a few days later. I wasn't able to finish up my video last week, but here we are. I'm going to talk about the learning intentions and success criteria wall right now. So you can see the labels and then the subject area. Let me focus. There we go. You can find the labels and the headings for free at my TPT shop. Just search Ann Huynh. And these are magnetic frames that I bought from Amazon. Just search like magnetic frames or something. But yeah, I really like how it looks. It looks really neat. And I don't like my handwriting, so printing it out makes it look a lot better. And you can also save all your printouts and keep them organized in a tub or folder, so that way you can have them ready to go next year. So yeah, it's really cute. I really like it and neat. All right, moving on to this side. I have why is this? I just noticed this. This should be over here, but I guess it fell down. But of course, the flip here had the flip calendar. It probably fell, that's why it's not in order. This was over here, but I have it nice and low. Should have a little higher so the kids can see, but I have it low enough because I have a helper who flips each day. Otherwise, it will probably be months and months late. And here's your countdown. We have 1.5 days left. All right, moving on. You can see on top of the math wall, I have my number line. It goes all the way to 120. Ooh. Uh-oh. Ah! Tighten this. Okay. Right here is a little clock craft we made. They designed a little critter. There's parts that they can add or they can draw the parts, and they were to match the time with the analog clock and the digital clock. So right here I have, let me move it down, there we go. Okay, so right here is where I store their special memories through the months. Each month they write a memory they have for that month, and we start in August and end in May. And you can really see, I love it so much because you can really see the growth of their writing from August to May. They also really enjoy seeing their writing and spelling from August all the way to May, and they think it's hilarious. Okay, let's see. Let me show a little bit. Okay, from here. Okay, like this one. This is August. And as you can see, they came in, you know, as a little kindergartner, writing repetitive sentences. Is that like, I went to the pool, I went to a trip, I went to the party. And then let's look at, okay, let's do October. So August, September, October, like 2 months later. And look at this writing. One day in October, my mom's birthday was in October, and we gave my mom a gift. When she opened it, it was a pink heart necklace. Really different from August. Even handwriting. You can tell the handwriting is a little different. But this is May. And at the end of the year, they get to take this home as a little keepsake. So it's kind of like a very nice end of the year gift. But love, love, love. So here's another example from another student. This is September when my friend came to my house and we got to go play fishing. As you can see, I mean, good spelling, you know, but we need to work on the punctuation. And then from here to December, a lot more writing. Christmas was the first day of ski camp. First, I went to the gondola, then I went to the magic car pit, and so on. But again, you can really see the growth. Let's see, we have, still, well, there's a punctuation, but mark right there. Again, love seeing the growth in these writing. If you want a template, you can find this also in my TPT shop. Search and win. Ooh, okay, let's see. But yeah, I love going through this. Here's another one. Let me show you a couple. All right, so here's one from, this is August. And let's check out May. Look at that. Oh, look at this. Look at that. Love it. Capital letter, punctuation, capitalizing the I. This is amazing. I love seeing this. And you could also give them the binder before you write the next month. So that way they can see how they were last month and set a goal for the month that you're doing. So each time, you know, that's a good way for some goal setting. But yeah. All right. Moving on. Here we have the estimation station. I will have, is that straight? Like a jar or a bag of candy or something, or a jar full of like fun things, candy, erasers, things like that. I'll show you a picture of it. I don't have it here because it's May. But they get, anytime they do a good job in the hallway, in classroom, anytime at all, they will earn an estimation ticket. I put HTO for hundreds, tens, and ones. That also kind of helps them with place value as we're learning. And yeah, and then they just put their name and drop it in here. And at the end of the day, I kind of go through and just discard which one is not the closest, and the one that's closest, I keep it in my drawer, and I do that each day. At the end of the month, I announce the winner, and they get to take the jar home or the bag, whatever it's there, and they really like it. Also, you can just pass out a ton of these, and it's like free. Okay, moving on. Okay, where are we? Here, this is another drawer that I keep my bigger center stuff. I got this at a Costco. I can't remember how much, but it was a pretty good price. I really like it. Okay, here is my station bins, work on writing, some materials, word work. I switched these out. I need more signs, but I need to put a headphone signs. This is where I keep their headphones. I had them in these bags. I love these bags, but again, why don't they put things back? All right. I guess let me talk about my stations. So you can color code them so it's differentiated, and on the slides you can put their name in that color so they know, okay, I'm on word work right now, but I'm the yellow bucket or orange, and then you can differentiate that way. So for example, maybe word work is, you know, word work could be these friends are working on a sort that is maybe CVC words, and these friends are ready for digraphs and blends sort. So that's how you can differentiate. I don't have the sorts in here right now. What I have is, this actually needs to be on work and writing. But yeah, you could do that. Let me show you the PowerPoint so you can have an idea of what I mean with color coding. Okay, so this is what I mean by color coding. For work on writing, read to self, and word work, those are the 3 stations. For Yoshi, you can see he's orange, so he's gonna know to go to the work on writing bucket, but the orange label. And then the rest just regular. And as you can see, I put the voice level, and also the pictures match the bins. That way they know which bin to go to. Also the pictures, I have the pictures, if it's a board game, that picture will go on the board game. So they also know it's work on writing. And again, okay, and then so for word work, right here, Rosalina knows that she needs to go to the word work that is in orange, and that way, again, you can differentiate. This also works for math stations, just the same way. Let me see. So math can work the same way. Here's what my math rotation might look like. I don't have the names, but I would type the names here. And again, I like to change the pictures out so they can kind of know exactly what they're doing. But yeah, so this switches up a lot of times. I also, again, here is another type of reading rotation I do. Okay. So sometimes I change up the rotations, of course. Writing and word work might be together. They might have epic, and if we're doing something like an activity, we just is researching. So I have that there to let them know that they need to continue with the research. Okay, let's see. Okay, writing. So, and I have slides for other subjects. And sometimes I'll have slides like these and just have a picture, an image of what they need to be doing so they can see. Okay. But if you ask me, do they still ask what they should be doing? Yes. And it's like big old picture right here. Okay. Math. Okay, let's see. We talked about that. Okay, sometimes I also like to do first, then. It just depends on what activity we're doing. For example, this one, they had to do their research, so I wanted to make sure they were finished before they do anything else. So that's why I did first, then. Also, going back to the other rotations, as you can see, I don't have a rotation for me because I like to pluck my groups. Makes it more flexible and things like that. But yeah, for reading and math, same thing. Exit ticket, they'll stick their stickies around. Sometimes I have it here. I think I've had it at the door once. This is a QR code for Dojo Island. They love playing Dojo Island. I had that when we have like free time, or I reward them. Here is a timer that shows them when or how long it will be until the next rotation. Okay. And here I posted their Dojo points and rewards. Okay, so now I'm going to talk about Class Dojo. I really enjoy using Class Dojo as my classroom management, or one of my classroom management tools, because I have many. I also like using it for communication with parents, sending them our newsletter, sending them just updates, reminders, and sharing pictures. So at the beginning of the year, these are blank. We decide as a class what rewards we would like. Of course, I kind of guide them with questions and things like that. And then we choose how many points and kind of think about what's a reasonable amount of points to trade it for. So once in a while, as they're working quietly, I will project the Class Dojo board on the smart board so they can see how many points they have. And the way they trade it is they're allowed to trade it in the morning when we're coming in, and dismissal. So they just come up to me and just say, Miss Wynn, can I trade in my points? And that's it. And then on the Dojo app, there's a button that says redeem points. So I like this idea because they can see how many points they have and they earn them, and they can have a goal of, okay, I have one more point for, you know, whatever, right? So yeah, I really like it. And again, you can always change things around. Here is my desk and my lovely treasure box. If you see my reel, this was 3D printed, so this is super cool. Let me focus. Right here, I used to have a sign that says highlight and turn in, and here's highlighters, so they highlight their name and turn it in. That helps with students turning in no-name papers. Then I keep my worksheets there that I need for the week. And my small group area. Okay, I'm not sure where I left you off, but I don't know if it's the same day or the next day, but here is, let me talk about the carts behind my desk. Of course, like everyone has, the rainbow cart with the label drawers. I was supposed to do labels for here because this one I wanted to put, what's it called? Labels. There's nothing in there, but that should have been there. Put labels here, you know, laminating sheets, cardstock, things like that. And here, of course, are where I would put the worksheets or activity sheets for the day, and to keep me organized and to know what we're doing or what I'm going to do that day. Which is funny because I have this and sometimes I'm like, okay, so even though I have these drawers to keep myself organized, I'm still running around looking for activity sheets, like, okay, so where is the sheet I need? And I forget to look in the drawer for that day. I don't know. Does that happen to you, or is it just me? You know, the craziness of the day, right? Moving on over here on this side, next to my desk, I have this little utility cart where I put my Hot Logic, which is a lifesaver. Everyone should get this. It's such a good investment. What it is, what I do is in the mornings, it's too crazy in the morning, and I'm always rushing and forgetting my lunch. But when I get frozen meals and stock up, so I can just grab a frozen meal. And right when I get here, I throw it in the Hot Logic, plug it in, and it's nice and warm and hot by lunchtime. You can meal prep freezer meals in a plastic bag or a Ziploc bag and also throw it in, and that will work too. You can actually cook in this thing. So if you look up videos, they have videos of people cooking in here, like raw meat, and they stick it in a container. And this, you can use any kind of containers, I think. That's what I remember. But look it up. This is gonna save you a ton of time. And even if you have leftovers, you know, bring your leftovers and keep it warm. You don't have to sit and wait for the microwave. So just unplug it and it's ready, hot and ready for your lunchtime. But yeah, look it up, Amazon. So here's another wall that I use to display their work. This was an Earth Day activity that we did using coffee filters. What they did first was color the coffee filter with blue and green Crayon marker, and then they used a spray bottle to spray the filter, and then they were able to see the colors bleed together. And they loved it so much. They thought it was so cool. I left it in a plate, left it on a plate to dry, and use a sticky note with their names on it to make sure I remember whose is whose. But yeah, this is a really cute and fun Earth Day craft. Okay, moving back here, this is behind my small group table. At the beginning of the year, if you saw my video, I had, what was it? The black utility carts back here all lined up. But since then, I changed to this one, which I really love. I like the bigger drawers where I could keep like maybe their guided reading books, and this side is for math. I can keep the I cannot say this word, say manipulatives, and these whatever we're working on. And these are their guided reading journals, okay, that I put here. So four groups, and here's just extra stuff that I need to put for math on the side, maybe more base 10 blocks or math games that we're working on. Same thing here. And of course, it did not look like this before. There's just stuff spilling all out. Because it looks nice and clean right now because I'm cleaning up. It's the end of the year, so getting rid of a lot of stuff and cleaning up. That's why it looks so neat and organized. Okay, anyways, but I haven't been using, because I don't take notes in these binders anymore. What I like to do is, so red is always math for me, and blue is always reading and writing. You know, we have our colors. Okay, so for each one, I put a little label. Let's see. Okay, for these small group journals, all I do is staple a long sheet of construction paper together with notebook paper, because we have tons of notebook paper. And what I love about these is you can see their progress, and this is how I also jot down notes. So yeah, so this is also how I jot down notes right away, and I can see what they need next time. Because like I said, I like to just pluck my groups, and this is an easy way to say, okay, so-and-so, oops. It's an easy way to say so-and-so does not need to meet today because they got the concept. And then okay, also so reading, same thing, construction paper with notebook paper, and then I stick a label on there. And also, if you like these labels, I do have them on in my TPT shop. All right, And again, you can see the growth through the year with their writing. Also, see, you can already tell, see, they're writing a lot better in the lines. And you can use this for writing records. But yeah, love, love, love. Okay, and then do things like this. So, but yeah, I really like these. And then also you could do, I'll just saw the comprehension. There's a little comprehension package. Oh, there it is. Okay. Now you can do a little passage and have them answer some prompts. But that's part of how I do my small group. Okay, as I was saying about the guided reading journals, well, small group journals, it's really easy for me to look through those pages and look at my notes to see who I can pull next time. And, you know, like I said before, I like to pluck my groups for math, especially in math. Reading is a little more consistent, but again, sometimes I might pluck for different strategies. So here's my reading. You can see my reading. So reading, same thing. Let me find one for you. Give me a second. All right, guys, so I guess that's the end of the May room tour. I really hope you found some useful ideas. I will see you again on the next video. Bye.